Esther, can you restart?
We're bringing the Tourism Commission meeting to order, for the Village of Weston, Monday, the 21st of November. Would you like to read the notice?
Roll call. Okay. Hardinger,
Here.
Rubino,
Here.
Cleaver,
Here.
Demmelin,
Here.
Wyland, here.
We got everybody here. It's John, okay. We're going to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. All right, next on the agenda, approval of minutes from the previous meeting, August 15th. We have a motion to have second.
Second.
We just need to acknowledge, do we need an approval or acknowledge of the minutes?
Approval.
Do we have any notes from that meeting that anybody had any comments on? No? All right, nothing to discussion. Do we need to vote on that? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda is public comments. Do we have anybody signed up or online, or we've got a couple folks here? Is anybody here for the finance meeting? I'm sorry, the tourism committee? We got a couple.
I'm not here for the finance meeting.
We're here.
But we're with the CVB,
We're waiting our turn.
For,
CGP report.
the report, the Convention Visitors Bureau report.
they'll be number 6.
Yeah, we're number 6.
Okay, so you're here to comment on the October budget status report. Mr. Maloney?
I just have one comment that these chairs are much nicer than the old ones.
No. Good.
So much appreciated.
I second that.
So I'm sorry, so your comment is regarding the item number 5?
6, or convention business, they'll be doing number 6.
Okay. All right, number 5, budget status report.
The October budget status report for the room tax is in there. It is missing payments. We did not get anything from Baymont yet. And there was one other one, but we did receive that one. I think Fairfield we got after a month end. But Baymont, we're still waiting on. That motel is being sold. I think the closing date's the 23rd. So they did make sure that when they faxed in a special assessment request, that we let them know that the room tax is outstanding yet for third quarter. Today, we've collected $352,500, and 105 of that gets to be used by the village. $246,750 went to CBB for tourism activities.
Hey, Jessica.
We recommend acknowledgement of the October budget status report if there are no more questions.
We need a motion of acknowledgement.
I so move.
Second.
Anything in discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. CVB reports.
Good afternoon, Tourism Commission and staff, yes. I'm Tim Whites, the Executive Director of the CVB Visit Wausau, 225721 Swan Avenue, Wausau, Wisconsin. So just a couple things, you'll notice a number of documents in the packet for you to peruse and review. I've given you a flyer that we had put out in May at the tourism luncheon that we held, which happens every year in May. You'll be invited to that for next May as well. In that brochure, we had just reviewed and put down goals, things that we were working on inside, and you'll see it in kind of the future focus. Other than the new visitor center, I'm happy to communicate to you that we have either accomplished these or well on our way of finishing them. We've done everything from a strategic plan with our board and outcomes and critical issues to all of our quarterly reporting, our face-to-face meetings with stakeholders, our Zardico data we've started using, and I shared some of that at the summer after the Taste and Glow Balloon Festival. Our new website has soft launched, and you can go to visit Wausau to see it. Our CRM is working, and anyone that has a business in the Marathon County can have an account to our account. If you have a business that you're interested in having on our website, just let me know. Our strategic plan is just about done. Our board policy plan is going to be worked on for the end of the year with help from your trustee Hushang and John from the commission here on our board. They've been very, very helpful in giving us a mission and a vision as an organization. A few days ago, our director of marketing, Alyssa Steinhilber, started. She has great brand and outdoor rec marketing experience, even out west in some of the ski operations like Vail. She also has a local connection. She worked at East Bay and then Rocket Industrial, lives in Stevens Point, but she's, really aware of this area. We're really excited to have her take us to another level. Also, you'll notice that we have a request for basically a letter of recommendation. So as you might know, we have applied to the county, Marathon County, for ARPA funds to build a building at the site that is off of County Road NN. If you are a longtime resident of the area, you'll know the building as the old Shakey's Pizza Building, all-you-can-eat buffet. That building is uninhabitable, and so our desire is to tear that building down and build a small 2,200, 2,300 square foot multi-purpose with offices, a conference room for the community to use, really for it to be an all-encompassing visitor center, tourism center for the locals to use as well for Marathon County. You can see some of the original plans that we have put together that we are presenting to the county. We don't know a date yet for the presentation, but the grant that we're asking for the amount in $600,000, and the cost of the building is around $750,000. And so we'll be going to partners and municipalities asking for a little contribution as well. The location is right on the edge of Granite Peak, so you'll be able to see the mountain really easily. 2.5 million to 3 million cars drive under NN every year. 5,000 to 6,000 cars drive on NN going towards Granite Peak every day. It is in that zone of the intersecting of I-29 and I-31, that little stretch. And so our vision is to have a small offices and visitor space so that people can stop by, get information, but we're also going to make it a community space. We'll have things like pop-up shops for area vendors to showcase things, especially, like in Marathon County. I think of like Red Road Roasters who are in Edgar, and they don't get to promote their products other than a clean slate and at the farmer's market. And so giving some of these vendors a place to kind of showcase that. Also, we're going to work with the business community to showcase working and living in the county as well, since that is a big touch point. So we have letters of recommendation, letters of support from the chamber, we have it from Rothschild, it's coming from Wausau. Schofield, I think, still has to give us it, but they approved it. And of course, our relationship with you, Weston, we're just looking for a letter of support saying that you support us and our plans for this building and making it a building for all of Marathon County. So that's that. Is there any questions about the building or anything else that is going on?
You said you've had it, you've got it funded in full at this point?
We would if we get the grant. And so that letter of support goes to the county when we make a actual presentation. We've not been given a date, but it's going to be sometime at the end of November. So we want to bring them letters of support. We want, obviously we'll show them the plan and how it's going to be used for the entire county. And so we think it's a great thing to rally around for the county and all the municipalities. So.
How much are you looking, or do you need yet, I guess?
Well, we have nothing, so.
Okay.
So the building cost is estimated at $750,000.
Uh-huh.
So if we do get the grant for $600,000, then we'll, look to various stakeholders to potentially contribute the remaining $150,000. And a number of municipalities have said they would support with a contribution, so. So yes, and if we don't get that grant, Jasper, then we're back to square one.
Right. I only asked because the county board meeting regarding their ARPA funds, they reallocated some of those to offset their operating expenses and reduce the tax levy on the county for this upcoming year
Sure.
in the last meeting that they had. So I don't know exactly where they're at, obviously with their ARPA funds or how much of that they have out there yet, but.
Yeah, no, totally, all we can do is present and see what happens. So, yeah, and then I know that Lindsay's gonna come up and ask for some more additional support from the village for the new field house, and we support that as well, so.
Okay.
Anything else or any other questions? Am I missing anything?
When would you need this letter of recommendation?
Sooner than later. So, I mean, it can be from the administration,
But didn't, we already did that for the board, but now you're asking from the commission, right?
I don't know.
We haven't received one yet from the village.
Oh,
So we're
okay.
just
Yeah.
need
Yeah,
an
'cause we
additional one.
Yeah, we said yes to that. I'm surprised it ain't out there.
Well, we'd like that.
I'll follow up with Pam.
Yeah, we voted on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
I thought you were just
Thank you
asking
for your
for
support.
the commission too, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I thought, I remembered saying that.
I'm
Well,
surprised
thank
it's
you.
not out yet, because Keith has mentioned it, so, yeah.
Can we put something in the notes to follow up with the administrator regarding the status of this letter, please?
it's a busy time. I get it. So, and thank you for supporting it. So,
Oh, thank you.
any other questions or anything that you? All right. Thanks so much. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Thank you too.
So on the screen are the reports that we received from the CVB. It shows the previous year's carryover and the funds per quarter. And year to date, we have $122,000 in the Weston account, which is the total amount of funds that we have available to give out for grants.
Is any of that flowed over from last year? Is that just this year or is that?
So if you look at the thing, the beginning balance is, what was that? 220,000 was previous year's balance. And then we used for this year, and then the ending balance was 220. Right here. So this second page that's in the packet has all the grants awarded in 2022. And then the balance that was remaining after each of those disbursements.
Okay. Thank you, Jessica.
Do you have any additional questions on the CVB reports that we submitted?
We just need to acknowledge the receipt of that.
Yes, please.
Looking for a motion to acknowledge.
I'll move to acknowledge.
Have a second?
Second.
Anything in discussion?
I also want to point out that we did get a post-event report, which is something that the Tourism Commission did ask for before. What kind of response and how did what was the success of the events? And the Blossom of Lights did submit a 2022 post-event report. So I don't know if anyone had a chance to look at that.
Would you like to go through it quickly?
It's not my report.
Whose report is it?
Blossom of Light submitted it.
Okay.
I just,
As part of the
I said it was a successful event for them. We'll hope to do more next year. Okay, sorry for interrupting. I just wanted to point that out because it was questioned before what kind of response we ever get back from these people that we give funds out. And here's an example of a report that we did get back.
Blossom of Lights.
That's the Monk Gardens.
The Monk Botanical Gardens?
Oh, yeah. All right, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Educational presentations and report, item number 7, Badger Elite application. From what I understand, this event was held already in October at Dale's Weston Lanes, but because we didn't meet in October, they weren't able to get a grant from us.
When was this paperwork submitted?
It was on my desk when I came back from vacation. And that was November 2nd.
Okay.
We did not
Yeah,
receive anything.
The
prior
last
to-
tourism commission meeting was in July,
Right.
and it was scheduled for October, but then Weston canceled the meeting for October. So had the meeting been held in October, this event probably would have fallen in line with stuff.
Yeah, so my position is that we shouldn't retroactively fund an event.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Dale's is obviously a huge partner, and I talked to Nick about this earlier. And, you know, there's all the confusion of moving from one place to another, but retroactively funding an event seems like we're creating a precedent that I don't think this body should do.
I agree. Mr. Maloney?
I just, and Dino, I know you and I were going back and forth, and I don't know if I put that in my response to you, but it has been done in the past. Because of the conflict of meetings and stuff, I'm not defending anybody here, but I'm just saying that it would not be precedent setting because we've already done it. I believe we have. Jessica, would that be correct? I think we've done, maybe, well, I mean, I don't want to put you on the spot,
I have no,
but I thought we did a couple times, especially with the committee kind of disbanding and then coming back on.
that's what I was gonna say,
Yeah.
probably before when it was more of the CB was.
I mean, it doesn't excuse that they shouldn't have had the paperwork in, you know, prior to the event,
Yeah,
but,
I think unfortunately, it's just like, is there anybody here representing Badger Elite? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm Nick with the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and like Dino mentioned, we had conversation. I did call Dale at Dale's Weston Lanes, and he did mention, he apologized. He'd said with the move, and there was some communication, and as I know my colleague Jody, Dale should know too, to submit it to us. And then that's why we work with you guys, and then we can take it to the next spot. President Malone, also, he's correct. This isn't a new event. We have, and you guys have financed it in the past. It's a growing event, and we do love all the wonderful things that Dale does at the Weston Lanes and that for tourism. But again, it's just to make a comment on that. I did talk to Dale, and I guess, there was some confusion. He's usually pretty good about getting his events into the commission. He knows in advance when this will be, and he's excited that this continues to grow to be a multi-day event. But That's just the two
I
cents.
couldn't add to.
He wasn't able to make it this evening, or he would have.
Thank you.
So I came back and these were on my desk and I already thought the CVB seen them. Our process is everything goes through the CVB, so I was a little confused why I had paper on my desk. So until Jody said, hey, do you have a copy of those grant requests? And then I texted him or emailed them to her. So this was a little odd because we have worked with Dale before. He didn't use the right process and as Jody pointed out, it's even the wrong grant application. So I mean, that right there, there wasn't a lot of care put in and effort put in by Dale. I see it was signed on August 10th. There was no moving going on August 10th. That should have been on my desk August 10th.
Yeah, we should have had this.
I have no problem giving the funds, but maybe we need to set a precedent or have something, a policy saying you don't get your stuff into the village or into CVB so we can communicate prior to the week of the meeting. That's my opinion. Sorry, do you know?
No, that's okay. Yeah. So I mean, I've said that I think it sets a troubling precedent, but I mean, even if we look at this paperwork that is submitted on you guys' letterhead, the application isn't entirely clear as to what the monies are for. So I'm not 100, I don't know what he spent the money on. I don't know what he wanted to spend this money for. And we didn't get it in a timely manner. So this just seems like we're backfilling his budget. And I again, don't think we should be in the business of doing that.
Do we have another tourism committee scheduled for this year yet?
January is the next one.
I think January, yeah.
As a reminder, this commission can meet upon when we need it. I mean, we avoided last month's because of the budget, but if it was needed, we definitely could have had one in between. But at that time, I didn't have grant requests to bring to you. These were put on my desk after, like I said, the last week in October, so.
Are these events, do they submit the report for the testimony for Weston or through the Convention Visitors Bureau first?
They're
Then it comes
supposed
to you?
to submit it through them first, but this one did not follow that.
Well, is this something where they should alert all their people that are potentially going to ask for things that they have? There is timelines for these things and they have to get them in before a certain point in time? Or to be considered?
On the application that we have developed for the Village of Weston, on the top paragraph, it states in there that it has to be submitted 90 days before the event happens. So it's outlined in there.
Yeah, I don't even think Dale didn't even fill out the proper application. So, and like Jody said, we've mentioned it to Dale, so it was just an oversight on his behalf or a staff member or whatever.
So the proper application wasn't filled out and it wasn't filled out with the 90-day advance that typically you guys request. And it's not that we we do a lot of things with Dale. It's like,
Right,
I would
right.
love to just say, okay, fine, give him the money, but I can't do it. And if he comes to us and, and requests a special meeting just to go over this and gives us a little more information, I'd like to look at it then, but I can't. I would not feel good about setting that precedent. I mean, yes, sir.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we have to have policies and precedents.
I agree too.
So,
I agree.
and it's up, the onus goes on Dale I would guess that if he wants that.
I know he does a lot of things there. We do a lot of things with him. We'll get an opportunity to,
I think he would totally understand if you
Okay.
had the opportunity to follow up. That's up to you guys, of course, but
Yeah.
so we need a motion to approve or deny the grant application.
So I'll move to deny the grant application, the grant request of $2,000 for badger relief.
Okay, second? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Grant is denied. Okay, next on the list. Elvis birthday bash. Anybody here for Elvis' birthday bash? No? Let's see here.
That's at Dale's West,
That's at Dale's Weston Lanes, of course it is.
but it's in the future, so.
It's January, so we're definitely, well, we're actually just under 90 days. Did this go through you guys, or did he submit this direct to us, Jessica?
This was received direct again.
Okay.
When was this received?
Same time. We had a pile of 3 grants delivered to us.
Guys, did you know about this one? Did the CVB know about this one either?
Nope,
Personally did not.
the knowledge I had was of last 2 weeks ago, Dale emailed me and he said that he submitted these grant applications and dropped them off. So that's when Jessica and I were in contact. The one after this that talks about the Knights of Columbus, Terry, who organizes it, I've been emailing back and forth because I'm helping him arrange hotels and if he's doing a rebate program, and Joyce is helping him as well. So Terry did have a copy of the Village of Weston's application, but then this was still submitted on these grant applications for the Sports Authority.
Okay.
But this one was not submitted by Dale. It has Diana on there. Is that correct?
The producer of the Elvis birthday bash, but it's just being held at Dale's Weston Lane, correct?
Yes.
So who would we be paying?
This is Diana, right? Yes?
So we're gonna pay, is Diana here? Okay. So just because I wanna nail it down, the person who wants the money isn't here and she submitted it on your letterhead without your knowledge, outside of the normal procedure.
Correct.
But you guys were made aware of it.
By Dale, yep. And he did forward me just late last week, all of the grant applications he did give to Jessica, but Jessica already did.
I think this is another annual event, you know, it does a lot of annual stuff.
I'm just curious here, but I'm kind of skipping ahead. Oh, it's green up, okay. Yeah. We're not gonna meet again before this event takes place.
Well, I guess my question is though, is where are they getting, how many rooms they're getting? Like I don't know where they're getting this history for.
This, you said this is an annual event, so are they going off the history?
His entertainment, I think this Elvis review is, I believe, yeah.
Right, but they're making some assertions that they're going to have X amount of or X amount of participants, X amount of hotel rooms used and stuff like that. And there's no supporting information for that.
Right.
It's the Baymont Inn who's delinquent anyways.
Let's just keep coming.
This is their first show since COVID. I'm reading this right?
Yeah. Yep, that's the first show since COVID.
Yeah.
That's what she said, and that's not true.
She's had one since COVID?
Yeah, they just had the Neil Diamond, Aretha Franklin thing.
No, but this is from the person that.
This is,
Are these
not
different
Dale's.
promoters?
Well, that-
yeah, this is different.
That all depends on
Okay.
who did Neil
Because
Diamond,
they're both at the same venue.
Right.
Correct.
Same venue, different.
All right.
but different
Yeah.
contact most likely, maybe.
Yep.
Can we, Jessica, would it be odd to tentatively give our approval of this request pending the proper paperwork submission within 30 days? That
I don't
way,
think the contract, the new one is that different, is it? Or what kind of documentation would you want submitted?
well, they're saying it's not coming through their office the way that it's supposed to come through. Is that correct?
Yeah, and like the application for the Village of Weston for tourism, it outlines what the funds are gonna be used for.
Yep.
How many overnight stays,
Right.
how many day trippers, things like that. So it has more detail of what the funds are going to be utilized.
And we're able to guide the grant applicant, hey, you need to have this on there. Give them feedback before we
Even
would
submitted.
come to you.
Right.
Yep.
So I think maybe kind of setting the precedent that that's what needs to happen. And we're not gonna meet again before this event takes place
If we want to have a special meeting, we can.
So I think that's, with the holidays and everything else in the next 2 months, I think probably my suggestion is that we tentatively approve this request pending the proper paperwork submission within 30 days through ZDP, and then it lands on your desk and you already have a green light from us. If they give you the right paperwork, the proper paperwork, we don't have to have another meeting, we're good to go.
Okay, sounds good.
So you're authorized, so you would authorize us to,
While we're having a discussion, we're just
Yeah,
having
so
a discussion.
so I think it would be better to tentatively not approve this and let them, then leave the door open for them to come back and reapply. Because, I mean,
Well, that's the only reason I suggest that is that
Right.
we would have to meet again to approve the paperwork.
yeah, and I mean, some of these, I find it dubious to think that on January 13th, this event is going to require 60 rooms at the Baymont Inn, and then on Saturday, it's going to require 70 rooms at the Baymont Inn. I don't really know how many rooms are at the Baymont Inn, but I don't know if we're going to fill up a whole hotel for an Elvis tribute.
I don't know.
Yeah, and so I think that, again, you know, this, I don't really understand, or, no, I'm sorry. I don't think we should tentatively approve this money with the state of this application, because if they don't come back with an approved an improved application, then I don't know where that leaves us.
Dollars means.
They wouldn't get the money.
They would get the money then, it'd be dead in the water. I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't want to have to schedule another meeting just to bring everybody here. I mean, if Jessica gets the proper paperwork, she notifies me, and what can happen too is she can notify the board. And the board can make the review, and if we approve it at our level, and then the board gets the proper paperwork in the December meeting, then the board can at least sign off on it, and we don't have to reconvene for it. If they do the right things, but we're giving them that opportunity.
And that's fine if that's the motion, but I'm gonna vote against it just because the person didn't show up to get their check.
Yes, sir.
I promise this would be my last comment, but I do find it odd that people aren't here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been at these for years, and I mean, I get the drill. You gotta do all this, you gotta do some hoops, but somebody's gotta be here to lobby for it. I mean, you can't, these three right here, that's not their job, to lobby for events. And I know we got a great relationship with Dales, they're outstanding in our community. But people have to be here so that you, the commissioners, can ask questions, if so be, you know? And I think it's really important that people are here. Otherwise, if this becomes the norm, we're gonna get flooded with 50 or 60 or 70 every quarter. Because let's just take a shot at it. Let's just do a numbers game, and we'll just keep sending these out to all the communities because we don't have to show up.
Well, they have to do
And then, you know, the 158 rooms or 60 or 70, whatever it is, you know,
That's a good point.
yeah, there's gotta be a little bit of, you know, stuff in there. Dave, I'm sorry, I'm not running the show.
Well, that's fine. I like hearing you talk.
No, okay.
you can come over during Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the gentleman over here makes a couple of good points. I think, you know, we have procedures in place.
Yep.
And they're not doing it.
Yeah.
So they're not ever gonna do it if we don't make them,
Yep.
you know, say, hey, this wasn't done right. It needs to go here first. It needs to be filled out correctly with this form, not.
We gotta be fair and consistent to the people that do show up,
Right.
that do the homework, you know, address the commission. And I just think that works both ways.
Well, I think that's an excellent point.
But I don't know. I don't know if I get a vote or not, but I vote against it as well.
No, I'm right. I'm gonna have to agree with Mr. Maloney that you're right. If they can't even be here to lobby for it, I think that's there's, every one of us in this room could be doing something else. So if they want $1,500 from us, then they should at least show up to it. So Mr. White, or I'm not sure which one of you can reach out to these folks.
Jody will.
Yeah. But at this point, I mean, they'd have to show up to a regular board meeting to get this approved in December, which is way under the deadline anyway. But we could I think we at least grant them an audience. But I don't think the tourism committee is gonna Well, that's something for a different matter, I guess. Because they're well under the
Thank you.
90th January,
I think he's right.
so. Right,
Part of the process of them, when they do fill out the application, that's how we're in contact with them and let them know when the Tourism Commission is meeting and that they should attend in person, or if they can't in person, there's always the Zoom option. So that's how we get that communication out.
Well, you people have an opportunity then to look at the application and to make sure all the boxes are checked, and if they're not, why? And, you know, you made these comments down here, you know, what's that about? Because that's a red flag. And, you know, that, you can just help them polish it before we ever see it.
Exactly.
Yep, that's a rule.
Is there some place on the application that tells people that they're expected to show up here?
It doesn't on the application, but when they do turn it in and we evaluate and ask questions, and then once it goes into the final stage, I do have contact with them that I let them know when the meeting is, what time, how to show up. And I also follow up with them that I have sent the packet over to Zong and Jessica so that they know that it'll be a part of the packet. So
I think,
that's part of our role.
I think we should probably add then that they need to attend this meeting if they want. It's highly encouraged if they,
Well, I think about 99% of the time in the past that representative have been here, right?
usually somebody
They're
is.
asking for money.
Yeah,
I mean,
usually somebody is. Last meeting we had, anybody that asked for a grant showed up for it.
Yep.
Right.
So that's a good point. Nobody here showed up for it, and they're, if we would have met in October, it'd have been close to the 90 days, but it's well under it. All right, I'll take a motion.
I move to deny.
Second.
Okay.
All those in favor of denying the application?
Hey, you guys, there's all sorts of stuff.
All those in favor of denying the application? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Application is denied. Next on the agenda. And just, Mr. White, if you'd like to, if you or some of your staff would like to reach out to these folks, try to get something in here in December,
Yep, we'll communicate.
might be a possibility, but it's not going to be anywhere near it would have to be a special exception at this point.
Yep, we'll communicate that to them.
All right, Green Hack Turner Community Center Room Tax Grant Request. We have anybody from Green Hack here?
Right here.
Well, come on up to the podium, give us your name and.
I'm Lindsay Lewitsky. I live at 1701 Green Vistas Drive in Wausau. So I'm here on behalf of the DC Everest Education Foundation. As you guys know, we are building the Green Hack Turner Community Center, which will be connected to the Green Hack Fieldhouse, existing Green Hack Fieldhouse. As you know, earlier this year, I believe it was, you guys approved $200,000 out of your room tax fund for 3 years. That request, when the building was $29 million estimated, we did not have bids and we did not have a final scope. We now have a final scope. We are at 35.3, as you saw in the packet. We have raised nearly $34 million, but we are looking for that final push. And knowing that it will be within the village of Weston, we felt comfortable enough to be able to come back here and add on to our year 2 and year 3, or however you guys want to put it. We are able to take funds within 23 and 24 at different amounts. So if you feel more comfortable, 75 and 23 and 25 and 24, or however you want to put it, we're able to do that. We just have to prove that we have the funds, or we have the funds pledged, so that we can move forward. As you saw in our packet, we do have full scope. Everything is bid out. We have a final number. It will not go higher than that, 35.3. So that's where we're at today.
Questions? You said 100,000 over 2 years?
Yeah, so I would expect, as I said the last time I was here, I'm very mindful of the fact that you guys do give other grants out. And so, yeah, we're looking for 23 and 24 additional grant funds. So I wouldn't expect 22 unless you guys feel you have additional 22 funds that are undesignated at this point.
23 and 24.
Yeah, so our current agreement is, I believe it's July 1 or June 1. We get mailed out a $66,000-ish between those 3 years. So we've received one payment already. So I would just assume that we would add on to 23 and 24, if that's what you guys agree upon.
Yes, Mr. Maloney.
I just do want to say something here and support Lindsay and the effort here. I was honored as village president to be able to go over there for the kickoff on grounds. And I was there for a lot of the speeches, especially Mr. Greenheck and Christine Gilmore and others, and Lindsay herself. And I have made several comments to the group, specifically Lindsay, that there's more here. After hearing John and other hoteliers, I've never seen John so excited. I mean, there is nothing that's happening on this side of town that's gonna just drill for those hotel dollars. And really, the money is the hotel. It's the hoteliers that are raising it. You know, it's from the taxes, from the, you know, people staying in their hotels. And normally, I think, John, you said we're like third or fourth place for a lot of the events.
Yeah, 100%.
This is gonna put Weston, and I should say the area, it's not all about Weston, it's about the area. But this area is gonna be an absolute first place. You know, we've got great hotels on this side of town. And, you know, they're gonna obviously looking for close, you know, quick. You know, then the eateries are all gonna be, you know, getting some stuff too. So I did talk to Keith Donner, our administrator. I think he had a chat with our finance director. And, you know, we can let the funds go in all different ways, but this one here, this is once in a lifetime. This is huge. This is monstrous. And I'm just excited as all heck to be in the same village. I wish I had, well, my grandkids will be going there, but my kids are all out. So that's all I got to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Maloney. Somebody else?
What?
You said your count. Lindsay, I'm just curious, 35.2,
35.3, yep.
35.3? What does $100,000 give you at 35.3?
You mean in terms of
Yeah, just,
the bucket?
yeah.
So my bucket right now is, I look at my bucket a little different, right? So I've raised 34 million, or we've raised 34 million. So my bucket is now 1.3 to hit that goal. And so that bucket, that 1.3 bucket is being raised from room tax dollars, individual donors. We still have businesses, in fact, First Impressions today gave us their commitment of $40,000. And so as Village of Weston, so I think, are you looking for naming rights? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
not necessarily, I'm just,
No, you can name it after me.
That's all right. Do you feel it sounds good?
it's just a lot of money, so.
I agree, it's a lot of money. So that 35.3 is, I mean, it's fully community raised. The school district's not raising any of it. The school district will be responsible at the end of it for maintenance and upkeep and make sure that the building lights are on, that sort of thing. But all that has been, I would say, the dollars and cents of that side has been taken care of in terms of that the school district doesn't anticipate any additional taxes needed to fund that building.
Jasper.
Yeah, so it's okay. I wanted to speak in support. So I've had a couple of conversations with a couple other communities, sort of about how absolutely cool the Greenheck work is because of what it saves our municipality from paying for. So how much was the other building, just roughly? 20 million?
No, the other building was not. It was
Okay.
built in 97. I think it was a total of 5.
Okay, so, right, but so
In today's dollars, probably
Yeah.
10 or 15, yeah.
we're there, this is a private a set of private families who committed $50 million to provide a resource to our municipality that we don't have to provide them. The school district doesn't have to pay to build this. They don't have to pay to build a hockey rink. They don't have to pay to build racquetball courts and a weight room and all of that stuff. These folks did that for us. And I think the least our municipality can do is another $100,000 over the course of 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I'm not going after that, but also with it coming out the tourism dollars too, we also want to make sure we have a commitment that we are going to bring tourism dollars into it as well. So like I said, I'm going to be one of your biggest supporters for it because like Mr. Maloney said, besides bowling tournaments, Weston hotels are never first choice really. Besides, unless you're a brand enthusiast, Granite Peak, you're staying in Wausau because it's closer. Anything at the Expo Center, you're staying in Rothschild. Weston, it's usually, we need to fill these other hotels up first for us to get our fair share. This is the opportunity for us to get our fair share when they're having their events and stuff like that. But now Weston having something, we will sell our hotels first and then everybody else gets a piggyback off that and it helps the whole area as a whole. But like again, too, we need to make sure that there's a commitment too, that we are going to bring in events and stuff and tournaments and everything that's going to generate tourism dollars to basically get our return on investment as well.
Well, I think more to both of your points, I guess, have you guys done like an operating cost for keeping this building going? Because you're gonna have, like you said, the school's not paying for it. So you're raising the money to build it. But it is going to house a lot of things going on in the area. So I don't know if concessions usually volunteer staff, but as far as like how the food's provided, the lights are on and things like that?
No, so the field, so current Green Hawk Fieldhouse operates in terms of, you rent a field or a court or an ice rink or whatever it is, by the hour.
Okay.
Which that would be the same. This field will be divided up into 4 different sections. There's 2 golf simulators that will be rented out too, and 4 meeting rooms that can be rented out. So operates in the same exact capacity that like the basketball courts currently operate at Green Hawk Fieldhouse. We do know that super users will be there, such as MC United, which is the local soccer club. They want, if they could have 5 nights a week, they would have 5 nights a week. So I don't think we don't have any concerns of filling up the fields. In fact, we have concerns of, do we have enough field space? Honestly. Because there's no indoor field space within, or full-size indoor field space within 90 miles of Wausau, which is very interesting, considering we're in the middle of the state. So in order for us to, this is a big splash. When the news came out, or when the original groundbreaking in October happened, the district was reached out by like Elmbrook and Hartford and like elite districts in the state that were like, how are you guys possibly doing this? And it's not, that they're like dreaming that it was on their referendum, and we don't even have to go referendum for that. We have a community that supports it, and we're hoping tonight that you guys would support it as well.
Okay, so I've got 2 more questions.
Yep.
Jessica, we're sitting at 220 for the year right now, our tourism commission.
Mhm.
Is that typical year by year? Is that pretty much the same, 200 to 250, depending on acts of God
I'm gonna
and
be honest,
football games?
after COVID, we were in the tank, so I think it's more normal. Our motels were always growing in the past too. You have to,
Right.
even before COVID, your sports tourism wasn't as big as it's growing every year. So I don't think unless COVID hits again, we won't go below that. That's my thought.
And seeing as basically this is the last meeting that we're gonna have before the end of the year here, and we're not really looking, we'll carry over some money into next year for any sort of events that are coming up right now, but no?
So this is through 3rd quarter.
That's my 3rd quarter.
Yeah, so on our books, we are accruals, so we will get, if you see what's normally per quarter, we'll get another chunk of change.
Right.
4th quarter, which will add to the 222,000 for 2022.
Okay, so what I'm trying to get to here, if we wanted to increase this request, is there a percentage that we could increase it to?
Over what's being asked for?
Yes.
I don't think we can say she would have to ask for more money.
I'm sure you're more than happy to ask for more money.
Disagree.
I'm asking.
I respectfully disagree as a person who's dealt with government. I believe you can make whatever.
Oh, okay,
motion you
cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I
All
can
right.
make that,
Sure.
make that ruling. If she's asking for
All right.
100, and my finance director says we've got more than double that sitting right, Jessica, don't have a heart attack. Just asking a question. I'm not suggesting we double it. I'm just asking that maybe we increase what the request is, number 1. And number 2, Lindsay, if you have an operation budget for, it sounds like MC United wants to rent some space, or whoever wants to rent some space, you're offsetting the cost of operating that building, any concessions, and that's directly laid back on the local community who's renting those spaces, who's fielding those teams. Is that correct?
The local community will be weeknights, for sure, weeknight renters, yes.
So in just an idea, if we wanted to help offset those costs to reduce what it costs for people to use those and pay you guys directly up, it's just an idea of our tourism commission every year, X amount of dollars. I mean, it sounds like you're already booked already,
So the
but
city of Wausau does something very
That's
similar.
why I'm bringing this up.
Wausau Events gets a chunk every year, the PAF gets a chunk every year, even.
so that way we are showing our continued support, not only through the community, but for what you guys are doing for the community.
Yep.
So, we can have a discussion here, because this couldn't happen at this meeting, but if I asked you to come back here in January or February, whenever our next committee meeting is going to be, and come back to us with a number, if you gave us $5,000 a quarter, $10,000 a quarter, it would equate to us being able to help more people in the community, reduce the cost of them renting those fields, and solidify our relationship with Green Heck and the community.
Yep, for sure. I mean, because I think what's very unique about this facility is it's not a for-profit facility and it's not even a nonprofit, it's a school district, right? I mean,
Well, because the
so we're not looking to make any money in any way, shape or
that's-
form on it.
That's the other side of this, is I know Everest is, you guys are operating this outside of Everest. So what I want to do is make that as easy as possible and let you guys focus on school
Sure.
and let us help you with the other side.
Yep.
Mr. Maloney.
One more, sorry. I just want to make sure everyone here understands this. So, for John, when he collects this 8.5%, correct? Okay, this is, you know, I got a little frustration with this. So it's 8.5%. The top 30%, so out of every dollar that's raised, 30% comes to the municipality as a freebie. You know, it's ours. And we're not using that 30%, that 30 cents for any of this right now. Then there's a 25% faction in there that we're using for our area. That's where this money is coming out of. Only 25%, correct, Jessica? Am I saying? Okay. And then there's another 45% of that dollar, 45 cents that we send to the CVB. That's also not being used for this. So right now, 25% of all those taxes that the travelers and people that stay in the hotels, you know, business people, that's what we're talking about, the 25%. So 45 goes to the CVB. They're not even being asked for any of this right now. There's 30% that we just get to use as a freebie. You know, so on the backs of all of John's customers.
Right.
You know, it's a typical tax and spend.
Yeah.
Is what it is. You know, I got a lot of heartburn over this. So, I mean, I really don't think it should be happening, but it is. And since it is happening, that 25%, I've never heard of a better event to spend it on than this, ever.
No, I'm clear.
Never. I'm not arguing at all with anybody, but I'm just clear. I want to make sure it's very clear how this money works.
Yeah,
This is a complete freebie. This isn't out of the village at all. We can't use this for a village.
No, it's a pass through the village.
What's that?
Where it's a pass through the
Yeah,
village.
the 30% we get to use whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, and we use it for, I think, the pool and for, what's the other thing, Jess, that we use quite a bit for? The pool and,
CIP.
yes, okay, so. I'm not gonna promise that this will be the last time I talk. I've been over promising and under delivering, so. I just wanna make sure everybody understands it's from that 25%.
So,
Yes, sir.
I was wondering, she stated that you have fiscal year 2022, 3, and 4. It's for the funds to come in. So I'm thinking about giving them more, maybe just an example, give them 50 this year, 50, 50, or make it a total of 150, but break it down over those 3 fiscal years rather than all at once.
But your suggestion would be going from 100 to 150 then?
And then do 50 for 2022, 50 for 2023, and 50 for 2024. Rather than just take a whole lot of money
Yeah,
out at
I
once.
think Mark's comment is basically that the money that we're sending out here is not something that's coming out of the village. It's a pass through that we receive to promote community events and local tourism. Yes, Dino?
So I think the thing that I wanted to piggyback on it so I think it's 2 proposals, right? The increase of the dollars for this one, and then the ongoing support for the building in the future. And just let me finish. Just because I think it's a really good idea. And the reason I think it's a very good idea is because as much as we're a pass-through for these dollars also just simply return to us.
Yeah.
So if all of a sudden we build this facility John's gonna get more things, and then we get more money from John.
Yeah.
So we give her the money, he gets the money, and then it just keeps circling back. And we've created a sense of goodwill by committing ourselves to a long-term relationship with a gigantic, super cool building. You know, like that's sort of awesome.
It's a completely symbiotic relationship.
Yeah.
I think
We
it
should absolutely
I think it's
do
something
that.
we
I
should
don't think-
absolutely do. Now, we can't, Lindsay, I can't allocate you continuing funds. We've got to come
I would
back.
put in a different request for
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So I think that's something
I
that
agree.
I'm sure if you took back to your folks, and does everybody feel okay with at least hearing that conversation at that point? The next meeting in January? It's quarterly, right? So it wouldn't be January, it'd probably be February. It's going to be a little bit before.
No, it's got here, January 16th.
Is it January 16th?
Yeah, I think we got it.
Remember, October, November, December, January. So originally it was scheduled for October.
So January 16th. Can we shoot for that?
Mhm.
Okay, so that's taken care of. How does everybody feel about what we're going to allocate or increase this request to? I'm going to need a motion.
You want to give money all at once or you gonna?
No,
spread it out?
we're just going to increase the amount and then we'll allocate it as we can. So that's something that, I guess, Jessica, you could bring I guess we could decide on the
Normalize
first.
that now.
Could I also tell you, so the city of Wausau, I was, again, involved with the city of Wausau through Wausau events. So what they do is they pretty much drain their account every single year. They save funds for that quarter. They have historically, they know what Q1 requests are. And they save those funds, but then they drain them from the following year so that everyone gets enough money essentially. So right now you're sitting at $222,000. So you could easily do 100,000 this year and then the 50-50. And you'd still have $122,000 in your account for Q1, Q2, and Q3 essentially, because we again come out of Q2 then, or 3.
Jessica?
Was that math right?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the math is.
That's definitely right.
Oh, okay.
I'm asking our finance director how she feels about us pulling $100,000 out of it right now.
You have 222,000 that you can do. What
Is there anything historically speaking that might,
you need to consider what's coming forward, but as of right now, we don't have any requests. Jody, do you know of any requests coming towards us?
I don't have any outstanding grant applications, just for whatever you decide to do with the Knights of Columbus one.
so.
I can just speak to Q4 should be a good room tax quarter going forward, and so will Q1. 2023
Yeah.
alone should be a great year, what we're seeing and
And
forecasting
this is
for.
all on you.
But now too, they don't make a ton of the room tax dollars you get in. If it's just hearing that the Baymont is closing, and I don't know if they're reopening this hotel.
I don't
That could
believe
play a
they're
factor as well.
closing and it's just a transfer of ownership.
Okay, so it's still hotel, so room tax dollars now as well.
Okay, so what we're discussing is awarding her the 100,000 in 2022.
Yep.
And then another 100,000 over 23 and 24.
Is that what it is? 50 a year?
So that'd be 50 a year. So we're going from 100, we're going to 2.
Yep.
But we're taking 100 out now.
Yes.
So, somebody needs to make a motion that, motion to approve $100,000 allocated out of the tourism fund for Green Heck Field House in 2022, and an additional 100,000 over 23 and 24,
50 a year.
50 a year, over 20.
Not 100 each year.
Right. So that would be, Song, you got that?
I think so.
So somebody would need to make that motion.
I'll make that.
I'll second that.
Okay, we have a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Congratulations, Lindsay.
Great job, everybody.
Thank you
Good
guys, we
job.
appreciate it.
But we're
January 16th.
Yep, we'll have it. It'll be a little different though, so the application is, it'll be
Yeah,
very much different because it's more dollars and cents continuing funds.
right. So what we're looking for is basically a quarterly or annual draw to help sustain operations, to offset costs to the local.
Yep, we can get that.
That's not necessarily supporting heads and beds. Maybe we need to.
No, it'd be
reverse
more
that.
that we want to make it where it's the cost to like rent the fields out to host tournaments /
Yeah.
take away fees.
Yeah.
So more teams and more tournaments want to be held here.
That's how it needs to be phrased.
Yes.
Yep, there you go. You got it.
Okay.
I think we're all. Okay. Oh, yeah. Yep. All right, next, we have, wait a minute, where'd it go?
Knights of Columbus.
Knights of Columbus. Oh, boy, we're almost there. Knights of Columbus application, is anybody here representing that? No? Oh, gee. And it's at Dale's Weston Lanes again. Okay. CVP, did they fill out the right application this time?
No, for the Knights of Columbus, I was in contact with Terry and he does have a copy of the current one. And the last time I talked to him, that's what prompted that I found out that Dale had submitted the applications to the village.
Okay. We're gonna set a precedent tonight. They don't fill out if they don't fill out the application, if they don't fill out the application and they don't show up, they're not getting any money. So I'd like a motion to deny this one.
Yeah, go ahead, you guys.
John, motion, second by Dino. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next, motion denied.
Just for clarification, will this one be able to come back in January if they fill out any?
Yes, yes. Anybody that we're denying right now, they come back and they fill out the proper paperwork, they'll have an audience.
Okay.
No, you know what? I'm really glad.
No, hold on, wait, that's not correct because we're not gonna
be here in December.
No, but we're not gonna retroactively approve money for.
Right. We'll grant them an audience. We're not
Right.
gonna approve it.
Okay, well.
Right.
Just
So they could apply.
for the
Yes.
record.
But the Knights of Columbus, that would be February 18th through March 26th. So that would.
Or January meeting.
They're all under their 90-day window.
Yeah.
So what we need to do, because they're right in, okay, we need to allow them to do the right thing and give them the opportunity because they're under it. And this is the offense. And I don't want to dissuade them. They just need to fill out the paperwork and come in here. It's really not that hard. Just have a conversation with them, please.
Sure.
I know it's under the 90, moving forward, everybody, you got to get it in here. But there's a couple events, I don't know, a couple hundred people, a couple dozen people, whatever it is, they're at Dale's Weston Lanes. I want to promote that. Okay, so I don't want to just throw them under the bus right away, but they need to do the right thing.
Be firm.
So next, Wisconsin High School Bowling Tournament application. Anybody here for that? Come on.
Wonder where that's gonna be at.
Coral Lanes, is that a?
It is going to be at
Dale's Weston.
Dale's Weston Lane. Can I get a motion?
Well,
Wait, no, this actually looks like it might be.
right, this is March 3rd, so,
That's way outside of the 90 days then.
yeah.
That doesn't
I'm
make
still
sense?
gonna move to deny this.
Yeah, but we're gonna deny that.
Because they didn't.
Okay, I got a motion to deny from Dino. Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a second. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? It is denied. Okay, what else we got here?
That's a great.
This is,
Yeah, great. I don't know what you want.
policy issues. We have none. Resolution to ordinance. We have none. Okay, future items. Next meeting, January 16th at 4:30 PM. Does that work for everybody? Yes? Okay, great. Topics for the future meetings. I'm hopeful that CVB will be here with at least 3 other people representing their organizations. It's really close to that other one, so we might have to bump it a week earlier, possibly to get them in here. I don't want to not promote locals, but they gotta do what they gotta do.
Yeah, Mr. Hardinger, we can encourage, we cannot control.
I understand that.
Now Dale can be represented like for the state, because I think they're actually out of state, the people that.
Yeah, I know some of them are traveling. So as long as somebody is here,
Yeah.
somebody needs to be here.
We will encourage them.
Thank you very much.
They could zoom it.
And we
Absolutely.
should have Ms. Lewitsky here from Green Heck. That needs to be on there. There was one other thing too, Parks and Rec Director.
Polly,
Sorry?
Jamie Polly.
No.
Sean.
Oh, your part.
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, I'm sorry, our Parks and Rec Director. Can we put it on the agenda to have Sean? I asked him in August to do a request for quote regarding doming the Weston Aquatic Center for year-round operations. So I'd like a report from Sean or something from him, if that's being moved at all. Because I think that, I think what, $20,000-$30,000, if we had to invest in architectural plans as a possibility, I'd just like to consider it. But I think with the closing of the indoor water park at Cedar Creek, there's nothing like that around here. We have one that's running now. I don't know what it would cost to dome it, but I think it's worth considering. Just a suggestion. But if Sean has actually got an RFQ out or has talked to anybody regarding that, I'd love to have some feedback on it.
I believe he included that in with the Kennedy Park, master plan as part of the scope, but we haven't,
It wasn't separated from what I remember. I didn't get a
I have
clear.
to check with him on that.
Yeah, I didn't get a clear, like, this is what it would cost to dome this thing.
Yeah, and I don't think that's been done yet.
Right.
But it was part of the,
Yeah, I know,
part
they
of the
kind of,
scope
they
for
grouped it
people
with the
to.
multi and, I
Yeah.
know, I want to clear, like, if we're gonna dome it, this is what it would cost, and it would cost to operate it.
Sure.
So, because we don't have any competition there, and I think that would just be another local game changer,
Mhm.
personally. But, I mean, it's up for discussion, you know, it's just something we brought up a while back, and I never got anything back on it. So it just popped in my head. Remarks from staff? Jessica?
Nothing.
Song? You guys hanging in over there? You can have some pizza when we're done now. Commissioners?
I'm sorry, could tourism also contribute to, like a baseball, upgrading the baseball fields for baseball tournaments?
I would think so.
Concessions?
So that has been directly talked about at Parks and Rec, and that is an ongoing,
Okay.
we're doing that.
You
Okay,
are-
great.
Yes, that is a high priority.
I think that ties right into what we do.
Yeah.
I'll try to get on those.
But yeah, if you guys want to pay for it, sure, we'll take it out of this budget.
That's right.
So another thing that maybe you can help us with next year is on my hiring of staff, the next position that we will be hiring is a events, sports, meetings and conventions salesperson to go outside of the area and
I'll try to draw.
get sporting events and, again, with the Green Hack thing too.
Yeah,
And if you wanna build a water park, that's great, but you should build a convention center with the water park. That would put you on the map in
well, it'd be nice if we had a hotel right next to
the
it.
area. John would run it, sure.
I already ran a hotel with water park here. It's not fun.
I do have a comment as well, and John knows this, so the Rhinelander, the dome up in Rhinelander, this specifically relates to that in that John knows 2 new hotels are being built in Rhinelander specifically because of the business that dome has created up there.
I think-
Not just a dome, you can imagine what potential of this new Green Heck Turner
Yeah.
facility. Honestly, we might not have enough hotels.
Yeah. No, I think it's a great opportunity personally. I'd love your feedback too, because it would definitely help us if we do go that route, the best way to do that, having your experience with it. Any other remarks? Nope. Okay, need a motion to adjourn.
I'll do that.
Second, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody. That was fun.
20 minutes. Pretty cozy.
Time to get something to eat.
For that, we'll get the waterfall. I read
I know. Exactly.
Nice to meet you.
I'm thinking, you know what, part of me is like,
Yeah.
I can't count money.
A few.
But it's got all the rules. Yeah.
It's like, I appreciate it, yeah.
I run the Holiday Inn Express.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
No, Train Garden.
That's good.
Oh, no kidding. They don't have at the meeting.
What meeting?
Trying out to go.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Cross camp.
Yeah. And they'll be fine. 2 years ago.
All right, well, nice to meet you. You know, I never met you before either.
Yeah.
Young Dave.
Nice to meet you, Dave.
To go on.
Guys have a good thing.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
See you later.
Thank you, Jessica. Thank you.
Jessica and Son, thanks for dancing around the whole thing. Wow.
Hey, you guys can grab get a cold over here, Michael. Somebody- Thank you, Dino. Dino.
Yeah, you didn't see that on this?
Are all of us finance people on Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Sorry, because I think.
Such an Wisconsin flag.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't make the name. Well, I did, that's finance there.
What the process is.
But tourism.
Yeah, right. Make sure you're.
Yeah, I'm sorry. You weren't supposed to be on it. Were you?
I think I was an alternate.
Oh, that's why I got the.
What happened? Yeah, you're on finance.
She might as well just have that.
Kids.
Yeah, that is.
They're coming from our.
We did travel.
Yeah.
Making sense.
14.
That.
Yeah.
Cheese and one's pepper. Oh,
Little things, I have some videos
I literally ran home.
I got it.
I covered in sawdust. Just changed clothes and right here, you know, like.
I think they're bringing it on the board.
Yeah.
We need to
I don't want- I don't wanna-
Let's just get it done.
Yeah, no. I just can't be the one in here going, hey.
Yeah. They said.
Yeah.
You know, I think if we can help fund that center and offset the cost of local teams for them to play there, that would be.
Are we trying to get a finance committee to cut their cost?
We
Well,
have to
it sounds like
start,
they're already booked on the space.
can you
Like,
start the finance, so we have 20 minutes to go?
Yeah,
That'd be awesome. Thanks.
okay. Call to.
Well, wait, we need people. Where's? No, is it just four?
I think you're okay. Yeah, Dwayne
Yeah,
is
okay.
out.
Is not here.
Calling finance meeting to order.
Yeah,
Welcome.
that's four. Sorry.
Sean, please read roll call.
Recording now.
Decent,
Yes.
Val,
I never stopped.
Have you guys got anything from?
We never stopped.
Hardinger,
Here.
Gemlin,
Here.
Wylands.
Here. On the agenda, we have approval for minutes from previous meeting, October 11th, 2022, and October 17th, 2022.
Is this approval or acknowledgement?
This is
Approval.
we approve minutes.
Why isn't it acknowledgement?
Acknowledge is basically saying, yes, we have seen it. Approval meaning these minutes are correct,
You're
we're
right.
just stand by them.
You're right. I apologize.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Motion's been approved. Any more discussion? Opposed? Motion passed.
All's in favor,
Oh,
say aye.
Aye.
let's see, okay. Number 5 on the agenda, October budget status report.
We have the October budget status in there. We have a nice little narrative. We are still running ahead both on revenues and expenditures. I think we're gonna end up pretty on the plus side for both of them. So we'll have a nice surplus. We're looking to see what kind of additional expenditures that we have this year that we could make sure we get in this year. Other than that, there's nothing too exciting. Was there any questions on the general fund? We'll move on to the utilities. So for the water utility, we did implement a rate increase, and that was started November 15th. So going forward, everyone's gonna see an increase in their water rates. Sewer and stormwater, we'll have to definitely look at next year for increasing the rates. But as of right now, you can see that the expenditures are 137,000 more than last year for the sewer. The revenues are only 11,000 more, and then for the stormwater, revenues are 1,600 more, and expenses are 95,000 less. That 95,000 less is basically, last year we did a stormwater study, we don't have that this year. Revenues for stormwater don't move very much. You have to remember it's based on $12 a quarter for all the residential. It's pretty much a set rate for everybody. And the only time we get new growth is if we have new customers. So that's our stormwater fund. Are there questions on anything else that was in the packet for budget status? guys could acknowledge it, that would be awesome.
Request a motion to acknowledge October.
I'll second.
Motion's been approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any more discussion? Opposed, motion passed. Number 6 on the agenda, tip 1 and tip 2 detail report for October.
Nothing's changed since previous, nothing really exciting out. Any questions, or else we can just acknowledge them?
Motion to,
I move to acknowledge tip 1, tip 2 detail report. I'll second.
motion's been approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any more discussion?
Who
Opposed?
was it who seconded? Who seconded?
Emily.
Okay, thank you.
Any more discussion? Opposed? Motion passed. There are no educational presentations and reports at this time. Number 7, AR write-off.
Okay, so attached, you'll see 3 different categories of write-offs. The first 3, we're gonna forward to the Department of Revenue, so we work with SDC, and we will submit these invoices to be collected by the state. These are, you can see, items that we are unable to collect for. They were billed previously, and we still have not collected the funds, and the state will go ahead and collect them for us.
Is this number typical year to year?
So we've never got forwarded
Five.
for SDC before.
Sorry?
This is only the second time we're forwarding to SDC, so the first time was a little bit heftier, and this I think is a good amount.
Yeah.
Common, I don't know, we don't have common.
Do we have a problem writing it off?
We have a problem writing them off. SDC is free, and I think we should try to collect the first $1,400 that we just talked about. The second one, the 965, that's what we're putting on the tax roll. So we're not necessarily writing them off, but we're taking them out of our AR system, so that's why we're letting you know that, and we want approval to take them out of our AR system so we can put them on the tax roll. And yes, we always ask you this, so. You know, if you would go and say,
Yeah, it sounds like
But
it.
that, it's
Yeah.
proper bookkeeping procedure.
Yeah, they're balancing it out.
Gotta be done.
Yeah, I understand that. It's just where does the money,
where's the money?
well, we're writing it off, so we're taking it out of one.
Kind of.
Out of our AR.
Okay.
But we're putting it on the tax rolls, so
Yeah.
it's really not a
So-
write-off.
It's not, yeah, we're not writing it off. We're absorbing it and then putting it right back out in the levy, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
But if you were to see any of these and say, I don't want that on that person's tax roll, there was an issue with that, I know that they came to talk to me, and then you could say, please remove that from your list, and we will write it off and not put it on the tax roll. So I think it's a good exercise, just it keeps the communication open. If somebody comes to you and complains, you'll say, yeah, we went through that, yeah, finance, they know all about it, so,
So we're like, we've tried to collect this debt, we can't get it.
yes.
Just, what? These people vanished.
They're just not responding to any collection attempts, and we don't try that
Somebody
hard.
Can't send the cops over or the inspector over, like,
So for the
we don't
tax,
got Tony Soprano back somewhere, go get our money.
for
Isn't
the
there
tax
some-
roll items, we don't try very hard. It's free to put on the tax roll, so.
There's some state
We send them
agency that
statements.
these are turned over to, so they try to collect.
Yeah, I just don't want them, I don't want them walking away, like, there's gotta be some report generated as these people that pay us their money, you know, like, could submit it to a, I don't know, credit
So
bureau
the
or something?
ones that, no, we don't submit to any credit agencies. They'll just see that our tax bill and then they'll complain about it.
Well, Cutie Pie is out of business. Is Schofield Collision Center?
So that is on our third group of people for a total of $3,700. And these are the ones that we're requesting write-off, unable to collect.
Okay,
The big ones, as you mentioned, they're not in business. Schofield Enterprises and Schofield Collision Center, we have attempted and worked with SDC, and the owner is not the same. So what happened, there must have been a business sale, business transaction. We can't go after the new one.
okay, All
These
right,
are from 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, and 17 for Schofield Collision. Schofield Enterprises was just 2019.
thank you, Jessica.
Do we have a motion to approve the accounts receivable write-offs as presented?
I'll make that motion. Recommend the Board of Trustees approve the accounts receivable write-off as presented.
Motion by Hardinger,
I think Dave seconded it.
No, not these.
second by Deason. Motion's been approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any more discussion? Opposed? Motion passed. Number 8 on the agenda, vendor addition procedures.
So this has been on the to-do list for quite a while, and I just thought I'd throw it on this time. Members of our old finance department requested that we bring this forward. Well, since then, we've had a changeover, we never brought it forward. I just want to let you know that our procedures are pretty simple here. Currently, new vendors can be added either at the time an invoice is received or before an item is ordered. Like if Brian in Streets goes out and he wants something, it's usually allowable. Some vendors will have a process where we need to fill out an application first before they accept our, before we can put it on an account. But then other vendors, they'll give it the item to Streets guy, they come back with an invoice, and then we have to add them to our vendor list. So at this point, we don't have any specific procedures, and that's where I'm throwing it out at the finance committee. Do you recommend, do you want us to change something in this process?
Thank you, Jessica.
Resolution and ordinances, none at this time. Future items, next meeting, Monday, December 19th, 2022 at 4:30. Topics for future meetings, policy reviews. Any remarks from staff? Remarks from committee? Nonsense? Do we have a motion to adjourn the finance meeting?
Make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Motion's been approved. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any more discussion? Opposed? Motion passed. Finance meeting is now.
Okay, 6 o'clock for the